You're not crazy. Red voters actually are stupid. Here's an independent study that I conducted myself in 2023, and you know I'm going to include my sources in the comments. Out of the top 10 states in the US for the best education, 9 are Democratic and only 1 are Republican. Out of the top 10 states for the worst education in the US, 7 are Republican and only 3 are Democratic. The top 10 cities in the US are all Democratic. Out of the top 10 most Democratic states within the US, their combined average school rating is an 18.7. Whereas the school rating for the top 10 most Republican states is a 29.7, with 1 being the best. Now, typically their argument for this is that education doesn't always equal intelligence, which is sometimes true, but not every single time. But let's look at the intelligence. Out of the top 10 wealthiest states in the United States, all 10 of them are Democratic. Out of the top 10 poorest cities in the US, only 2 are Democratic versus 8 that are Republican. Democrats control 77% of the US's most highly educated congressional districts, whereas Republicans control 64% of districts where the fewest people went to college. You would think if they're so intelligent, they wouldn't also be broke, especially when they love the phrase go woke, go broke. 41% of Democratic voters have a college degree versus only 30% of Republican voters. And speaking of education, let's take a look at that and how it correlates with political party. These figures are up to date and not from 2023. With every level of education, the number of Democratic voters increases, whereas the level of Republican voters decreases. This is even more true for women. There are 49 million Democratic voters in the US compared to only 38.8 of Republican voters. So how did the Republicans get control of the government? That would be the Electoral College, which essentially gives land more voting power than people.